Hey, I wanted to talk to you a minute today about the gig economy. What is the gig economy? It's basically the side hustle, side income economy that's become so popular today and age. I hope you're still listening to this ad because it's really important for me. I was in the network marketing industry for over 13 years and I had an incredible experience. I learned a ton of things, but there were many things about the industry of network marketing that I really didn't love. One of which was the overinflated products. Number two was the fact that I had to build a team or balance those things that we would call legs, the whole pyramid thing. I really was done with that. About a year ago, I was introduced to a social retail company. Social retail simply means that we are using our social media platforms, which are free, by the way, to promote products and services that we love. The affiliate marketing is booming. Not even going to lie. It's an incredible place to be in. And I am speaking to the woman who's in her 30s or maybe in her 40s, and she'd like to create that extra income. She'd like to create income on her own time. And she'd like to do it in a company that isn't all about the hype, that has some real products that she can get behind and would work with somebody who wants to teach her how to do that. If that's you, then I would really love it if you would reach out to me. Feel free to comment below or leave me an email. Scan the code. I'm sure there's a code somewhere if you're watching on my YouTube channel, but I would love to get in touch with you. And this is why. The company that I'm with, modere.com or modere.ca, depending on where you're at, check out shiftingretail.com. So that's shiftingretail.com. I want you specifically to go check out the values of this company and what their mission is. That was really important for me. I got flown down to the corporate offices and I had a chance to meet with the corporate crew and meet with the visionaries that are really driving the company forward. And what I discovered is this. The first thing they said to me was, Candice, when people come here from a network marketing company, they start making money. Now, disclaimer, this is work. This is going to take work. This is going to take energy, effort, time, and skill. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Those don't exist, at least not ones that I would like to put my name behind. However, this company pays us 10 to 36% on commissions of whatever we've moved within our business. And we get paid daily. We get paid up to twice daily. Biggest, coolest thing about this, if I move product, I get paid on the product, period. No balancing legs, no having to do any of that stuff. If product moves because of a referral that I did, whether it was through my social media, through a swipe up influencer, or a person-to-person conversation, doesn't matter. I'm going to get paid on it. And for me, being paid on the work and the effort that I do is important. So if this is something that's intriguing to you, I invite you to head over to shiftingretail.com or head over to Smiley, that's CSMILEY.shiftingretail.com, and you'll be able to join my team directly. If you've got some more questions, please comment below or find a way to contact me and get in touch, because I would love to share with you how we're building this and how affiliate marketing is the place for you to be. And trust me, once I show you how to do it with this company, I will show you the many companies, brick and mortar stores, you name it, sole proprietors, entrepreneurs who have an affiliate-based idea. And once you can do it with one company, you can do it with any of them. So I'm excited to teach you that. In fact, so excited, we're going to give you 120 days of done-for-you post or text that will help you so that you don't have to worry about what to post or when to post or how to post it. We're going to give all of that to you. You just got to show up with drive, determination, and some cash flow to get you started. $39.99 gets you your affiliate link and code and gets ready to start. Maybe you want to try some product too. It's awesome. But up to 2 customer orders actually qualifies you for commission. So you don't even have to place an order, provided you've got customer orders that are moving in your business. Brand new customer orders qualify you for commissions every month. Super cool. Definitely an opportunity for somebody who wants to come in, put some effort in and work with integrity, work with honesty, but really begin to use the social media time that right now is really just wasted time and turn that into cash flow. Awesome. Hope you have a wonderful day and keep enjoying our show. All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Create the Ripple podcast. I am your host, Candice Smiley, and here we talk about trusting the niggle and telling the truth. most of my guests tend to be people who have gone through something. We're often an entrepreneur. We're generally are people who, we saw something that needed to be shifted or changed, and sometimes in our own lives, and we make that shift and change. Now, my guest today is a wonderful woman. We've had a lovely little chat in our pre-chat conversation. I'm excited for you all to meet her. I wanted to get it started by having her introduce herself, and I've got a couple little notes beside me. Barbara, questions I'm going to ask you, and I love that we've already started off on this, understanding. I mean, and I talk about it a lot. I don't know if you watch or listen to the podcast, but I'm often amazed at how the guests that show up like are literally exactly who I'd love to have coffee with that day.
Mhm.
Right. And it mirrors, instances and moments in my own life. So without any further ado, Barbara, let's get you introduced to my audience and let's start the show.
Yes, well, it's a joy and a pleasure to be here with you today, Candice. Thank you for having me. So I'm Barbara Vercruysse. I live in Belgium, so the middle of Europe, an hour drive from Brussels. I'm a mom of 3 young adults, married for more than 20 years, and running a coaching business at this moment, which has different pillars. One of my biggest clients is BMW, where I do quality management and I am HR soft skill responsible. I do have personal coaching clients, mostly entrepreneurs, corporate leaders, that I guide to find calm and balance in a hectic life, to help them build resilience and always leave the noise outside, really teach them how to go through life with grace and ease and with a compassionate heart. And then I have an online school, which is called Barbara School of Wisdom, where I have a course called The Journey, which is the typical, you could say, self-growth trajectory from where you are in life to where you want to be. It's 30 videos, workbook, textbook, all that you want. And then I'm creative. I love to create. I have a web shop where I created card decks, inspiration cards, guidance cards, gratitude journal. So I love to express myself, you could say, in several ways.
Well, and I think that's really wonderful. And I just love it. So you are definitely, well, maybe not the farthest one. I had a gentleman from deep south on a beautiful island, Sam Lewis, joined me on a podcast. But I love it when I have guests that are, not someone I could just join and have coffee with. So thank you so much for joining us internationally today. That's just brilliant. I love the wisdom comments, and I love that you've got it grouped into different modules. And as you were talking, these different pieces, there's an alignment, certainly. At least it seems to me, looking in
Yes.
with what you've created and what you've put together and the different offerings that you're sharing with the world. Kudos to being married for 20 plus years and raising 3 amazing children. We were chatting about that before. I have such a respect for that because one of the things I've seen is, when you're following someone who's a coach, right? So for my listeners or someone who's, being involved, one of the biggest things I was told early on to listen for and to look for in someone I would work with as a coach would be somebody who has the life that I want. And that
Absolutely.
leads itself into the personal element, right? Because we are, right, especially as entrepreneurs, we
Yes.
tend to embody a large part of our businesses, our personal values just come out, right, in terms of what we do.
Yes.
I think about my own business, right? I was asked earlier this week, you're doing a few things. How do you sort of blend those things together? And I said, well, at my core, it's about connection and communication. It's about having conversations that matter. It's about the courage to have conversations that matter. And, so for me, that's sort of the thing that leads it all through. I am curious though. And you had mentioned this earlier when we were sort of having our pre-chat about where do we want to go today. But you said you've got some key moments in your life, and I think we all do. I know I do, right? These moments where if I look back in my timeline, that I'm like, oh, there was change, right? And we made a
Yes.
shift here, we
Yes.
made a shift
Yes.
here, and the evolution continues. So before we get too far into what you're currently doing, let's give our listeners that background, right? That brings you to this space where you could have something like Barbara's wisdom, right? Wisdom's a big word. and why when I know you're writing a book, so we'll get to that at the end.
Yes.
You're putting some things down around big concepts like wisdom and kindness. So let's talk
Yes.
through how you got there and
Yes.
sort of where you're speaking from.
Well, it was quite a journey. And I think many people go through that journey. As a child, let's say 6, 7-year-old, I was quite a spiritual child. I was very sensitive. And people would always say to me, Barbara, you're too kind. You're too kind for this world. And I could never understand as a child what that meant. What does it mean, be too kind? Do I have to be less kind? What kind of place did I end up here? This place called Earth. They say I cannot be kind. So that always had like been in my being, like that kindness, that joy, that sunny disposition, you could say. And the older we get, the more the programming and the conditioning, comes in. You go to school, you go to high school, and I was kind of molded a little bit in, you could say, the things in how we are supposed to behave or be in life. So went to high school, went to college, married, and started a construction business at the age of 28 because I have the entrepreneurial vibe. I was an employee for 6 years. From my 20 to 28, it was not made for me. So started a business. No, it wasn't.
We understand each other, right? I had someone the other day, and I do quite a bit of consulting now, and I was like, haven't been an employee since, and I had to like pause, and I was like, I don't even remember. It's been so long.
So long.
So long. So I feel you, and certainly I love a number of my listeners are entrepreneurs as well. So they're now nodding their head.
So you have that drive within you. Mm-hmm. So, and I started a construction business for the simple reason that I grew up in a construction business. My parents were running a construction business, and I started a similar business like 100 miles away because I was a very independent person. Mm-hmm. But really, you could say rather unconsciously, like I just made that choice, started a business. My husband was a lawyer for the city hall. So he was in his spare time, he did my sales, but I did practically, everything. And I had some mechanics in the working place. Mm-hmm. And then we married, had 3 children in 4 years. And when my youngest was newly born, he was 2 months old when I was diagnosed with a stage 4 skin cancer. So there I was, 32 years old, running a business since 5 years, being married. And I was told that I had 6 more months to live. That was in 2003. So that was an enormous shock. Mm-hmm. Mostly for me, it was disbelief. I was not ill. So I had a black spot on my knee, which turned out to be, like very deep. They had to take away all my lymph nodes in my leg were metastasis. So I had several surgeries and a year of chemotherapy. But that moment was the shift moment. So there's 2, you could say, main lessons that I had in that experience. And the first one was the power we possess in ourselves. The power, you could say, the power of our thoughts, the power of our mind. The first night in hospital, I was like overwhelmed by sadness. It was the first time that I was without children. I was a young mom, 3 children in 4 years. You always have a baby, a toddler, always near you. So I was, like staring at the ceiling, and like tears were rolling, and I was thinking, oh, my babies, oh, my babies. But then, like I was, where they are now, they are surrounded by love and warmth. They were with my parents-in-law. They had no clue what was happening. Mm-hmm. It was like a vacation for them. Yeah. Mommy was not there, but they were like very happily surrounded. Mm-hmm. So I told myself, look, Barbara, it has no use to right now go sad about the kids. And immediately I was thinking, okay, here you are in this hospital bed. What is it that is within your power to help yourself? And there was one thing that I could do to help myself, one thing that I had control over. I had no control over, like the result of the surgeries, the chemotherapy, but I had control over how I would respond to the things. And I was determined to not let in one negative thought, to not focus on them. Maybe they would pass, but I would not focus on them. And I, even if that would have been my 6 last months, I would not spend them in sadness and sorrow. I wanted to spend them in joy. So in the beginning, I had to retrain the people around me because everybody came in the hospital room crying, like my parents weeping, gonna lose you. And I had to say, stop, I'm not dead yet. I had even, like high school friends saying goodbyes. I'm like, no, I'm not dead. So I made kind of a rule. Nobody could come in the hospital room sad or in tears. Those had to stay outside the room. I wanted to hear what was happening outside those hospital walls. How's your life? What's going on? Tell me some stories, cheer me up. And it was not like it was fake positivity. It's not like I was there with a smile. When I was in pain, I was in pain. But I had like a very clear realization that negativity would weaken me. And I was so, as a young mom, you have you're like a lioness, like you want to stay alive for those babies. You want to see them grow up. And I think that was what took over. It was really that will, that enormous will to survive, and that will to be there and to spend every single moment that I had in the best possible way. And that was, like the first huge lesson. So the second thing what happened was, okay, that I was talking, you have all those months in hospital, that I was thinking, okay, what if this ends in a bad way and I die at 32? Would I be happy with my legacy? And the answer was no, I would not. And that was, you could say the biggest realization. I have not lived the life that I wanted, that I dreamed of, that my soul was yearning for. No, I had led the life that up to the expectations of others. I had led the life that I thought that a good person would lead, but never, like always, being more concerned about what others said or thought or doing good for someone else and leaving myself, you could say, my dreams, what I was feeling behind. And that's when things started to change. I promised myself, I said, Barbara, if you survive this, there were 2 promises. First, I would live each day as it was my last. And I still do that. I wake up in deep gratitude. First of all, I say gratitude prayer. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be breathing today. Thank you for the gift. Second thing is I was dedicated to leave a positive legacy. But there I was, 32, a Belgian woman in a construction business. How are you going to leave a positive legacy? And it was a journey of self-discovery that started. I started reading books, self-development, spirituality, psychology, deep diving in myself. What is it that I really want? What is it that makes my heart sing? And you could say that I had been a natural coach since childhood. I was the person that people called when they were not feeling well. And mostly at the detriment of myself until then. I was an enormous people pleaser. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be the good person. And that changed gradually. I learned to say no. I learned to, like listen to myself. And I remember the first time that I took a yoga class. I think my kids was about 15 years ago. And my husband was like, "What? You're not home tonight?" And I'm like, "No." And it was as if he could not, like even grasp that I would be gone for an hour. He was like, in complete panic. "I'm here with 3 kids." And I say, "It's 1 hour, one evening, 1 hour." And I had to take, like stand up for myself and take that space, allow myself to do that bit by bit. For me, it was very gradual. If I would have been too abrupt, I think those are the people who may divorce, go to an ashram in India, and I did that very quietly. It was more an evolution than a revolution. Mm. And that's what I believe in. I strongly believe, like, when you expand, you grow, like gradually. And I was still running my construction business at the same, because you have all those investments. It's not like I could close my doors and say goodbye. You have your employees. But around 2014, I started having my coaching business as a side business. And then in 2016, something happened. And sometimes, like life pushes us. And 2 of my employees betrayed me, and I almost went bankrupt. I ended up with huge financial losses. So there I was at 46 with a huge debt. And I had my, you could say, ceiling moment again, staring at the ceiling. Mm-hmm. I remember one day the bank called because they want to sell our private home to cover the debts, which is our dream house. We're still living here. And that was an enormous shock. I always thought we will settle things. We won't have to sell our house. And I was in bed, like, you could say, talking to God or the universe. I was like, seriously, I survived the stage 4 cancer to end up here? Mm-hmm. And I was repeating to myself, what's the lesson? What is it that I cannot see? What's the lesson? And then something came to me. And it was not a voice speaking, but it was something that I understood. Something that said, Barbara, even if you would be homeless tomorrow, you are still a worthy and a good person. It doesn't matter. And I was like, whoa, I had been attached to being the successful businesswoman. I had been attached to the nice cars, to the nice house. There's nothing wrong with having that, because we, like, fortunately, we had a settlement with the Court of Commerce, and we could turn everything around. But it made me realize that those things that I was about to lose everything were part of my identity. And I was forced to let them go because of that situation. Apparently, I could not let them go like that. And very quickly, I had to close my construction business. I got an offer from BMW to work with them. I knew somebody at the BMW. But in the beginning, it was more like administration work. And you could say it was below my level. So I had to swallow my pride, which I did. Fortunately, when I look at it back, whoa. All I could think of was, like, you have this huge debt. I could think hour per hour, like, okay, I'm all these hours. Okay, so much money is coming in. And I'm just, and my kids were in their teenage years. So for them, they had like a luxury life. And then the life was a lot less luxury. It was a great lesson. Even now they say great lesson. They see how life goes, like it's up and down, the waves. But I think when you have a certain value, it boils up. So after a few months, they said, can you do quality management? Can you do this? So within 6 months, I was part of the management team there as a contractor. My coaching business was really going well. And now, 5 years later, I'm here, 51. I'm thriving in all that I do. I have never been more fulfilled. I even, you could say even year by year, there is still more expansion, letting go, and expansion, letting go. And sometimes I wonder, I'm like, whoa, how will I be at 60? If I have grown, like in those last 10, 15 years, what's still waiting for me? But it's with excitement. So that's in a nutshell why I started.
In a nutshell, I mean, that was amazing. I was making some notes because, I was thinking about, this evolution. I loved how you said that it's an evolution, not a revolution. I've had moments of revolution in my life for sure when I've made some changes, but most recently it's been an evolution. But, your story is incredible, Barbara, and I'm so glad that we are talking about it today, especially in light of what the world's been going through, right, in the last couple of years. Because I think a lot of us have had a change. My change was certainly ongoing, like yours, right? We had talked about that, moments in your timeline that make these changes, and then from there, where does that go? But even more than that, just like you said, the resilience and those ceiling moments. I love it.
Yes,
I've had my fair share of ceiling moments. What am I missing? Why am I here? I didn't fight so hard.
But I can say, I can tell it with a smile now. There has been lots of tears. There has been seas of tears, really seas of tears. So it's the soul growth is not a gentle process. It is not. I can feel, you could say, once you have like that expansion, all you want to do is be of service to others, to help them liberate from that prison of so many, like false beliefs, of people imprisoning themselves in what other people say, and thinking too small, that you're like, oh, come on, blossom. We're here to blossom. And just realizing that I think I see people at my age, 51, who are already like burned out and they don't want to, like blah, blah, like they get up, they go to work, they practically wait for their retirement. And I'm like, oh my God, I still have that zest for life. I still have that, like that always being that excitement to be alive.
Yeah.
And I think that's, wow, that's just a gift in itself.
It is, isn't it? That's amazing. Now you had talked, the reinvention.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I know someone.
And maybe coming to the kindness and the compassion. I work especially with BMW in a male-dominated environment with a lot of alpha males. And I have learned to stand up for myself in you could say, I didn't have to sell my soul to the devil in becoming tough. I've never been tough. I'm not a tough person. I am very resilient and I'm really powerful, but I'm always having that empathy for the person in front of me. And I'm so happy that I didn't lose it, even in corporate world, that I could stay true to myself and found a way. That's why the book is called The Path of Powerful Kindness. To stay kind, but there's not the doormat, like not the niceness. Be kind, but really when somebody gets rude to you, stay outside those words, just like pause and let that negativity stay with that person.
I laugh because it's such good advice. Such good advice.
Yes, it does not always work for me either. Sometimes my kids would say, "Oh, Mom, I'm going to make a video of you now. People can see the real Barbara. There you are with your love and peace, and look at you now." I'm saying, "Okay, go ahead. I'm human." It's a training. It's a training for me too. But once you can see that what somebody else expresses is an expression of them and of their state of mind and has almost nothing to do with you, then you stay calm and centered. You stay close to yourself and your heart. And you let them, you let them. And then they calm down automatically, because a person doesn't yell for longer than a few minutes. They're like, okay, nobody is yelling back here. What's going on? And you stay calm, and then you can listen and say, okay, what's going on here? What's really going on? And then you open up. It's like you're making a bridge, like the kindness, the bridge. They can come across. If they don't want, they want to stay in you could say, the fortified castle of the ego. And they're like, I'm right, and you did it. Let them stay there. And if you have people in your environment who have that behavior too often, stay away. Stay away from those. And I have learned that a lot. I was the kind of person who thought that if you say no to a toxic person, you are not a good person anymore. So I have learned that thought was self-abuse. So I've learned to mostly never pick up my phone because for a long time I was that person that everybody called to complain in my life. And I, in a few years, I could create that space for me and surround myself with supportive people, with positive people, and all, like the leeches, let them stay away. And I do not do that in a judgment towards them. You can love someone from distance, and you can see from which framework their behavior is stemming from. You can see that. They don't know anything else. That's how their parents treated each other. That's how they think you treat someone. That's for them, that's normal behavior. That's okay. But I do not want that in my space. But if you see them, you are kind. And you can, I think the kindness is, first of all, is your own spark, your own light. Never let that dim. That's the kindness to yourself. Make that your own light always shines. So recharge your batteries with what makes you joyful. And it's from here that you can share. And then if you can give that spark, it's a simple smile. That's kindness. Maybe that person hadn't seen someone smiling to him or her that day. It's your little light that you're just sharing. And it can be in many ways. But first you have to take care, because I can say, like 15 years ago, it was a very fragile flame that I had. And you have to go through that phase to protect that flame first and make it shine brighter. And once you are like in your full glory, you can share all you want. And that's, I think, the ripple effect. But first you have to have that power, with that powerful light within yourself. And 15 years ago, I would be nice conditionally, with expectations. I expected that person to be nice too. And if that wasn't returned, I would be sad. Or I would be, oh, I have been texting twice, they don't text back, they don't love me. Like once you outgrow that, once you are so, you could say, at ease, comfortable, good in your own skin, you text someone, they don't text back, that's okay. It's not like I'm going to chase them and text them 5 times again. No, it's okay. Everybody has their lives, maybe things going on. Sometimes you're very kind to someone who is not kind to you. That's okay, because the kindness reflects me. If I'm only kind or nice to get niceness back, that's not being kind, because then it means that your light, like your light is not powerful enough. You're still operating from a void that has to be filled within you. But there's no void. There's no void. Once you see that, it's, well,
it's a really powerful thing that you're bringing up. And, we had talked earlier before we got started, right? How excited I was that we were, you mentioned words like kindness. And I love that you're not using a word like nice, right? Because I've looked up the etymology of the word nice and it means stupid.
Yeah.
So, the meanings of words matter.
Yes.
And so I don't want to be a nice
Absolutely.
girl, right?
Yes.
But kindness, and I am very much like you. And so that's why there's a lot of nodding, but just a lot of listening happening, is because I hear and see myself in you and the journey that I've gone on to go from being a very nice girl, right? People used to say, "Oh, you're so sweet."
Yes.
And in my head, I think, I'm not really. I'm biting my tongue right now because I really want to say something. And I think that's part of the reason why, the podcast is where it is. And that there's a little bit of this, I like to call it irreverence, right? When I'm like, oh, let's
now
talk
you give
about
me
this.
goosebumps. No, the subtitle is something with a renewed reverence for life.
Yeah. So, I just love that, because I think a lot of people do see kindness, and there are a couple of circumstances, one large one in particular in my life right now that is challenging me on my personal commitment to be kind, because I don't experience the other person involved being very kind at all times. And, my first response is being like, well, I did this. And so this is, I was kind to you. You should be kind to me. And it's been a real learning, to put your money where your mouth is. Right.
Yes.
And such a humbling experience for me. It's kind of like, you want to make God laugh, right? You tell him your plans. So I feel like, that's the case. And so listening to you talk about kindness from such a powerful place,
Yes.
it makes me feel like, oh, there it is. There's the tribe. There's the tribe that really understands that. The resilience to leave people's negativity with them, right? And being like, no, that's your stuff. I'm going to hang it over here and continue to be happy. But also, the deep healing journey that you went on to get to the place where you could leave people in their kindness. And when you said, I just leave my phone down.
I do.
People that know me know that I screen most of my calls, which some people are like, you screen your calls? And I'm like, yes, because I'm a recovering people pleaser.
Yes.
And, I was asked even today to go over and have dinner with someone who I'm very excited to collaborate with. But in my own heart, I'm feeling tired, and I'm looking forward tonight to spend some time thinking. We've got some plans I made, and I wanted to say yes. I want to see this person. I want to collaborate, but I don't want to do it tonight. And it's hard for me to say I'd love to. I just said I can't tonight. Tonight I need to be deep in my own head. That's what's going to recharge my batteries after a day of podcasting, right, and connecting. And the response, you wait, right? As people pleasers, we're like, oh, there's the disappointed feeling. But then I'm always so proud of my little self, and I'm like, the little girl in me is like,
yay, absolutely.
I wanted to share that because I felt so much of that coming from you today. And so again, like I said, I always feel like the people I'm having a podcast with, I'm like, oh, I needed to have coffee with you today. So thank you for meeting me.
Well, it's one of the best decisions that I made. That is to be master over my time. That is to, I have no more notifications on my phone. Zero.
Me too.
So my phone does not control me. My phone does not control me. Okay, I have moments. I just posted a video on LinkedIn and I'm like, oh, curious, how is it going? Okay. But then I'm like, okay, now you put your phone away. It's kind of self-discipline, but it's for the better. It's for the better. and making that space for yourself.
Yes.
My cancer was also a deep, you could say, a profound lesson in self-care. I had been overworking with 3 little kids so much that I started to see that as also self-abuse, as
Yes.
disrespect for myself, how much disrespect I had for my own body, disrespect for myself. And it was kind of coming from, I want to be a superwoman. I want to be the one who, like everybody says, wow, look at Barbara. So that's filling the void again. You have like that void, you need that. And now it was a journey also to learn to say no to my kids, because I was the mom which was always, like running around for everybody. And to teach my kids, you could say to model. Now they have a model as a mom who takes time for herself, a model of a mom who is living her passion, a model of a mom who is kind and powerful. I'm very much aware, like you said, for me, the most important thing is not me in front of a camera. The most important thing is me in day to day. How am I with my husband, my kids, my parents, my mother-in-law, with the people that I meet at BMW, with my clients? How am I when the camera is not turning? Can I embody all that I'm teaching in every moment? No, no.
And
no.
that's what's so hard about it. And I wanted to bring it up because I was just like,
no,
I love that you've been sharing from that space. And to my listeners,
no, but
oh.
many times, yes. Most of the times, yes. And when I feel when it's not working anymore, then I know, oh, Barbara, you're overworking. And then you get, like stressed out. The gratitude is going away, the irritation, frustration. So take a step back. So that awareness gets so, you could say, you get so aware that where before you would have, would take you days in a certain mood. Now it can be a few hours, sometimes even a few minutes. You're like, whoa, we won't go there. We have been there. That's okay.
We have been there.
And well, the most important thing for me is just let my life be the demonstration of what I teach. Let my life be the demonstration. I think that's maybe that's also, I make a lot of videos why people resonate, because I'm the same person with you as I'm on my videos, as I'm with my kids. There's only one person. And that needs, but I wasn't like that in my first video 6 years ago. It's just all, I was so scared. I was so scared to do something wrong, insecure. And it's just in the doing that you learn. And it wasn't perfect. And I have, fortunately for me, sometimes I jump without thinking too much, starting things. And I'm like, oh, this is scary. And then I do it anyway. And, living my dream. It's not that I make millions, but I'm impacting millions. My Facebook page has a reach millions every month, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, in my work that I do. And I think it was 15 years ago that I wrote down my speech that I want my best friend to read when I'm 100 years old. And that was before, like 15 years ago, I was not thinking about coaching. I didn't have any social media. And there I was, in the speech, it's written, Barbara, she's that person who impacted millions of women who empowered them. And even if I read that, I get tears in my eyes. And I'm like, oh my God, when I'm 100, will they say that about me? So when you're listening right now, just live a life that when you're 80 years old or 90 years and you're celebrating your birthday and your best friend is giving a speech about you, that they can say those awesome things. And for you, it's maybe you love teaching, or you love baking, or you love, like you're creative, or you're an excellent dance teacher. If that's your, I always say, like maybe you're born as a tulip and I'm born as a rose and she's born as an orchid. And we have been taught that we all have to be tulips. A tulip is successful. A tulip can make money. Oh my God, you're born as a rose. Well, you have bad luck. No. It's not, because you have talents which are not always in this era where we live, in this environment, I highly valued, that they are less valuable. If you are a magnificent mom and your dream is to really be always with your kids, to bake and to be creative, well, do that. It won't make you a millionaire, but it will make your light shine. So if we would, you could say, have an account with the light that we shine, I think that's a more important account than having a bank account where maybe your light is completely dimmed. It's just of no use. That money is of no use if it makes you dim your light. So if you can fully shine, and it's always with fully shine is from the heart. You see, when I do that, we never say you fully shine here. You shine from the heart, from who you are. But most of us, and I was there too, was completely disconnected from who I was, because I had only been listening to outside voices, never to the inner voice. And it doesn't happen overnight. You know that. I know that. I've been on that journey now for 18 years. And even in the last year, I feel like, whoa, there's so much confidence coming. There's a very beautiful thing about aging as a woman. Very beautiful. A mature woman is really a goddess. That's really true. And that's how I feel. What I can give and teach, I think that's it's so it's sad that our society like worships young bodies, young, and young is okay. That's the time you have to experience, and you have to try, and you have to fail and get up. But that it's so disregarded what people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s can bring. And I think especially women. It's like the world needs us right now.
Now more than ever, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
It's been so out of balance.
Those wisdom pieces, like you were saying, and I know, we're going to make sure that all of the links that you talked about in terms of the offerings and the courses and the videos and your social media, so people can find you and follow you.
Okay.
I know I'm going to be, because I'm like, oh wow, this is you are an absolute delight to spend an afternoon with, Barbara. So thank you.
Thank you.
We have come to that part of the podcast. I'm going to have you as an encore. So, my listeners, I know you want more. I do too. We'll have her back. But is there anything else you want to touch base on? I know you're writing a book about the kindness.
Yes.
I know obviously people are going to reach out and they're going to find you and connect with you. But is there anything you want to leave the listeners with?
Everybody who's listening, I want to know you are loved. You are worthy, and you are beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Barbara, thank you. From the very
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much. not just for joining me today, but also for the work that you are doing in the world right now. It has definitely had an impact on me today, and I cannot wait to share. I've been sitting here trying to think how I can, promote this so that, like bright lights,
I'll come
pointing
back
fingers to the
when the
light.
book with the book launch. Let me come back with the book launch.
I love that. Because I know that we're going to have requests to definitely have you back. And, ladies, of course, if you've been listening to this, like, share, comment, subscribe. Make sure you share this with somebody who needs to hear it. I'm thinking of a couple of really good friends who are in a transition right now in their lives. They've got babies that are leaving home, or, husbands who've lost, jobs through, the challenges of the world, or, there's just life, right? Life, life has a way of sneaking up on us. So thank you for showing up the way you did today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Candice.
Absolutely. And to the rest of you, love, like, share, comment. It really does mean the world, especially with this episode. And thank you for listening in with me today. We will definitely catch the rest of you on the flip side. Thank you. Hi, my name is Candice Smiley, and I'm so grateful that you're taking a look at Modere as a supplemental income option for you and your family. Modere, in my opinion, is an incredible opportunity for you to get in on the online gig economy and the affiliate marketing world that is just enjoying some serious buzz right now. Let me tell you what Modere is not. Modere is not your typical MLM. It is not a scam. It is not a pyramid. And it's not you having to bother your friends. Bonus, right? I'll tell you what it is though. It is an online social retail phenomenon. And what is social retail? Social retail is you using your social networks to drive retail sales. Bonus, the products, we've got over 100 products. Health and wellness, skincare, collagen sciences, products that people actually want and love to use in their day-to-day. Best part, the products are priced comparably. So they measure up with other products on the market. Now, no, you're not going to be peddling products to your friend. Forget what you think you know about the old MLM model way of doing things. This is very simple. Let me explain. For $39.99, you get access to the social retail or shiftingretail.com back office, which handles all of your accounting and all of your affiliate managing system. There's also tons of training there, as well as on two major Facebook groups, the Legacy Team and the Real Results 2.0. So products-based and team-based. Very, very cool. Now you actually can come in here and only spend $39.99 and make sure that you've got customer orders coming in. So you don't actually have to place an order to be qualified for commission, but orders do have to be moving through your affiliate referral system code. Let me explain. Our products have a point-based system, which makes sense considering that we're all over the world. So you're not limited in your network to one single space. You continue to do your social media the way you normally do. You post a referral link, or hey, I'm loving these products, or hey, just read about these new products, absolutely loving them. You post that referral link, people go to the referral link, and it looks a lot like Amazon or any other online store. There's no weird communications. It's just simply purchase the product. All of the products have all of the product profiles, so it's easy to see ingredient lists, calorie counts, different percentages. There's usually reviews of people, real people, using and loving the products. There's ingredients, and there's often the science that went into it and products that work really well with that one. So the upsell is actually done for you by the company. Any and all of your customers who get started earn you between 10 and 36% commissions. Now, if you choose not to purchase product because you can only afford the $39.99, or you really want to see if this is as true as I say it is, you'll need to have at least 2 orders go through your business to equal 150 points of customer volume, new customer volume every single month. But you never have to buy any of the products if you don't want to. Pretty cool, right? As soon as you hit that quota of 150 PV points, point volume points, you are qualified for commissions, and you'll be paid on the commissions of those 150 points. Bonus. Now, let's say you decide you want to buy something that costs, I don't know, $30, and you get a few points from that. That counts toward that volume. So you really have a lot of flexibility in how you want this to work for you. This app delivers to your phone every day, training and done for you posts for your social media, which means we are taking the guesswork out of you knowing how to build this affiliate gig. If you choose to join my team, I'm going to add you into a Facebook group where I coach the people that are working with me on how to maximize their affiliate and referral-based business. It is an exciting time to be online, and we're seeing people take their small-time social retail business into an incredible supplemental income for them. Caveat, it takes work, it takes time, and it takes energy, but you're already spending a lot of time on your social media platforms. You are already spending time doing the scroll, and we can show you how you can begin to allocate a small amount of time every single day to begin to create this referral-based, affiliate-based gig economy, which I'm really excited to show you. Anyway, I know you've got some questions. Some product videos will be sent to you. We can also send you some more videos in terms of the compensation plan in its fullness. Happy to show you how this whole thing works.